Studas Pass is a serious altitude gaining gravel pass located between Gurries and the small settlements of Leliesfontein and Paulshoek in Namaqualand. The pass is the gateway to some of the finest wildflower displays and forms part of a circular tourism route incorporating the very best of Namaqualand. It's a pure and backward part of South Africa, mainly untouched by the heavy hand of progress, a place to rejuvenate your spirit. The plateau region near the Kamiesberg is truly a forgotten world. Here lie small towns where kookebome are still used to build natural fridges, and running water was first installed in Paulshoek only a few years ago. Much of the area can be seen on a round trip from Bitterfontein to Kamieskroon via Kliprand, Leliesfontein or Paulshoek. The route passes through the upper desert-like reaches of the pebbled Knarsvlakte, edging the thickly sanded bushmanland into a region known as Namakwa Broken Veld. The scenery is truly unusual, with patches of lush succulent vegetation spaced with granite koppies, heaps of bare rounded granite boulders piled as if a giant had been clearing farmland. The pass starts at its northern end at 1104 meters above sea level, fairly close to the northern end of the Langkloof Pass. It rises to its summit point of 1,170 meters fairly quickly and then commences a dizzying descent, dropping a total of 809 meters in altitude towards its southern end. Whilst the average gradients are a fairly comfortable 1 in 28, the steepest sections are quite bad at 1 in 5. The pass is manageable, however, in any vehicle providing the weather is good. We filmed this pass from north to south, and at its northern end, opposite a small peak called Busmanskop, near the farm Wolfok, is the start of this pass, or the end, depending on your direction of travel. It rises quickly to reach the summit at the farm Isselsfontein, under the mountain called Platberg, with an altitude of 1,268 meters. The road then swings into the south past the farm Ribbokskloof and begins the big descent towards the west down the northern flank of the Rooiberg. In winter, a waterfall tumbles over a large opening next to the roadside, and from various vantage points along the way, one can catch glimpses of the ocean some 70 kilometers away. As the road enters this kloof, you'll be treated to some amazing views. On your left are steep drop-offs, which seem worse as there are no safety railings or stone walls, and on the right there are some impressive cuttings. Take it slowly down this section, as there are several sharp bends, and in wet weather you'll need to adjust your speed according to current conditions. The road curves around a 1,000 meter high peak, with the Wilgehoutsrivier bisecting the valley far below on your left. The next section is less steep, as the road heads south and continues curving to the left, following the contour of the mountain. It starts descending more steeply again as it enters the Goeiemanshoek via a big S-bend with some very sharp corners. The road now straightens out into the southwest as it reaches a natural small plateau where there is a cattle grid. There's ample space to stop after the cattle grid and enjoy the bracing fresh air and the spectacular scenery. The heading now changes into the south, and the road enters another section involving many corners, whilst descending again at a gradient of about 1 in 10. The Kamiesberg region is right in the heart of springtime flower paradise. More significantly, it forms the point of convergence of a number of important biomes. Paulshoek and the surrounding areas have been the focus of nearly a decade's study by botanists of the University of Cape Town, and in conjunction with a number of international botanical societies. The broader region is now recognized as a global botanical hotspot. The next section of Studas Pass is almost level and is comfortably the easiest section of the entire pass. It traverses active farming zones and includes 1 or 2 cattle grids. There's often livestock along this section, so keep your speed below 60 kilometers per hour. Local legend has it that if you walk without harm in the Kamiesberg at night, you'd better have a small pebble in your mouth and a twig in your shoe. The area is central to the Namakwa Nama culture, rich with myth and legend. In many of the towns here, the old people can still be happily coaxed to tell the stories of the paljas around the campfire. Be sure to watch part 2 of the impressive Studas Pass, which deals with the second half of the descent towards Gurries.